So it's October and we're knee-deep in the spoopy season once again. Now it's not...
Hello, listeners of the Chewcast, and greetings to all 5 viewers of the Chewcast. You've listened to him endlessly glaze Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, Not Scary Farm, and Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood. Mostly whining though. But I believe it is time to shine a light on a haunt that has long deserved some respect. Six Flags Fright Fest at Fiesta, Texas, presented by Snickers.
That there is a Six Flags out there that's on a level of theming and care and quality comparable to Knott's, and in some ways better. And what if I told you that their Halloween event is comparable to Scary Farm as well? Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, Fright Fest. Never thought I'd be using those words in a sentence. This is sounding pretty cool, but you know, with just coming back from Florida and everything going on lately, the likelihood of me being able to check this park out is like, hey, what's up? It's the Chewcast, and we're here at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas Fright Fest. We're about to check out all the spooky offerings and the 6 frighteningly fun and terror-filled mazes, or haunted houses, and we're gonna take you through every single one. So we're gonna quickly touch on the scare zones. When you first go in the parks, you're gonna be greeted with the Dia de los Muertos. Oh my god, did I butcher that? Very fun, a lot of bright colors. If you're still in the park with your little ones, you don't have to worry about them getting terrified over here. Because while there are actors, they're not here to scare you. You got the steampunk themed area, Crack Axle Canyon, which is kind of leaning more towards Western stuff, but now becomes home to the Steampunkins. Pretty rad. It's also home to Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger. If you've ever seen Hang Time at Knott's, you'll have an idea of what this is like. It's got a pretty cool plot and character. You got Dr. Diabolical, yeah, I know, right up there with Dr. Oddfellow and Major Sweets.
What do you leave the most important piece of my machine?
But hey, she's unapologetically evil, as she's trying to lure you to her lab so she can extract your fear from your screams, and all for scientific purposes, I'm sure. Pretty cool ride.
Go, go! Hello there! Have you ridden my machine yet?
And last but not least, they have their water ride, the Gully Washer. During the Fright Fest season, they turn the water red. Don't ask what it is, because I'm not entirely sure. Then you have the DC Heroes area, which every great park needs a great monorail. It's home to the Joker Carnival of Chaos, and it's got a cool, pretty creepy queue. It's like Joker's idea of a funhouse. And then you've got Rockville, and that's got trick-or-treat opportunities for the kids during the day, but then at night, it takes on a much more sinister atmosphere. You've also got that classic Halloween kookiness, which fits with the town, and one of the most intense coasters that they have there, Poltergeist. Not based on the movie, but the same name. Where you go through an old spooky house, and you get launched off into the night sky as you experience flight as a supernatural entity. It's got a real cool glow at night too. Then you got the boardwalk area, which, you know, I'm not crazy about boardwalk themes in a theme park. I've yet to see one that I like. But this one is definitely being held up by its chaotic cast of clowns.
Oh, I gotta get a shot of this. Where's he going? This guy's following him too. Swizzy, you got it right. Hey, you got it.
You touched me! Unacceptable!
Including these 2 legends.
Quick question. Is this you?
it. Let me see it. Let me see it.
Yes.
Bro.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah,
And then you've got the Spasberg area, which is also celebrating its Oktoberfest season at the same time, which is pretty cool. But at night, it's home to the Wicked Hollow, which is kind of a short path. And there's a couple other things that they list as scare zones, but they're more like terror trails, as I'd call them. They're a little weird because they don't really lead anywhere except back to where you started, but they're pretty cool when they don't get backed up like they did when I went. But over here it was fine. If anything, the rides themselves, when I went, had longer lines than the actual haunted houses. One more thing, going back to Dr. Diabolical, she kind of ushers in all of the monsters and creatures of the night. Arrival. It's very cool, but it does get really crowded over there. Who would have thought you couldn't trust someone with the name Dr. Diabolical? As cool as all that is, let's get down to the reason we're here. The haunted mazes. Now, houses, mazes, whatever. Let's get on to it. We're starting off with the Conjuring Universe. Iconic set pieces and encounters with all kinds of demons and specters throughout the Conjuring series. Can't believe it is a long-running series now. Fright Fest has had versions of this maze at like the other Six Flags for like the last couple of years or so. But the one at Fiesta, Texas, as with everything else, has the best version of this, even though it is very similar. There's a lot of cool scares and it's really like literally dark. If you're the first in your group, you better hope that your eyes have adjusted because it is extremely hard to see in there. Now, it's not perfect, of course. There's definitely a few things that they could possibly tweak or do a little bit better. More music from the movie could definitely be used. But I really love the new addition they did this year. For anyone that's seen The Conjuring, The Last Rites, you're going to recognize a pretty big moment from that movie. They've got that really eerie, very dim lighting like from the movie. Several other Cedar Fair parks, including Canada's Wonderland, are taking a bit of a different approach to this, where instead of a straight-up traditional maze, they're doing something a little bit more interactive. It's called The Conjuring Beyond Fear. It kind of is similar where it's taking you through Conjuring moments, but this time it's not as straightforward as, traditional haunted house maze. It looks pretty cool. It is an extra charge. Whether it's worth it or not, I'm not sure. It's cool that they're trying it, but I don't know, we'll see if it sticks around. Then over in the German village of Spasberg, we've got Hexenhaus. In Hexenhaus, you pretty much find yourself in the domain of a bunch of witches. It's getting real close to dinner time for them, and I don't think anyone says this anymore, but they're getting pretty hangry. I'm so sorry. So between luring you in, trying to keep their other victims from escaping, you're in for one hex of a time. I can't. Yeah, this one is actually pretty scary. Like, these witches do a real good job of catching you off guard and coming out of nowhere. It's very dimly lit, which makes several corridors very, very hard to see where you're going. And it all adds to the creepy atmosphere. And it's very detailed as well. If you're looking for a spooky good time, drop on by the Hexenhaus. Those witches might have been cooking up trouble, but this next one might make you lose your appetite for good. Saw, Legacy of Terror. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, and yes, Universal has done at least a couple different Saw-themed haunted houses over the years. I'd say Fiesta, Texas did a pretty damn good job with theirs. You can tell it's on a lower budget, of course, but honestly, Saw didn't really need a massive budget. If you're to mix up the footage from this and some of the stuff Universal's done in like Hollywood for Saw, it might take you a bit to figure out which one is which. This one, like most Saw haunted houses, adapts different torturous moments throughout the series. This one's advantage is that it has some of the newer movies that it can take some things from. And besides that, it's actually pretty startling at times. This has got to be one of the noisiest mazes. The only negatives I would probably say about this is that you don't hear the voice of John Kramer. I mean, that is iconic with Saw. How can you not have
play a game. Click what to hunt. Make your choice.
I mean, come on. The other thing is that the ending is a little anticlimactic. You're expecting it to keep going on and then that's it. But other than that weird ending, it's a pretty damn good maze. I'm not a Saw super fan, but this one was pretty cool. Alright, so we know Jigsaw is all about games, but this next maze is full of clowns that just can't stop playing around. Over in the boardwalk area, we've got Twisted, Theater of Torment. Step on up to the Twisted Twine Theater, led by the infamous Mr. Tangle.
Bruh.
The literal puppet master of a bunch of clown-looking characters that are ready to put on a show for you. Possibly the final one you'll ever see. This one was interesting because it's in a pretty big showroom. I don't know, the vibes are very strange. I don't know how else to explain it. Hopefully the video is giving you an idea. There is all kinds of stuff around. It's like, oh man, how do I say this without it sounding bad? It looks like, well, I mean, just look at it. I don't know if this reminds you of anything specific, but yeah, it's a weird feeling walking through here. There's just junk cluttered everywhere. There's a couple areas that definitely need louder atmosphere sounds or music, because there was like one hallway that seemed pretty empty. So I was like, it seems a little quiet. Did I walk backstage or something? But I loved it though. Like, this one was probably the funniest maze that I went through. I know I was like, what? You went through a maze to laugh? But no, I mean, like, you got a bunch of clowns and they're gonna be doing some clowning. And these actors and actresses are great in this one, and they really are carrying this entire maze. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good tie-in with the boardwalk with the clowns that are already out there. Look, regardless if you think clowns are overdone and overrated, the ones over here are top-notch. So after that, we're going to be moving into a different kind of entertainment with Cinema Slasher. Okay, I really wish they called this version Cinema Slashers with an S at the end, because even though this shares the same name as that new classic maze at Knott's Scary Farm, obviously part of the Cedar Fair / Six Flags family, this one is very different. It shares the concept of going through different horror movie types and tropes, but unlike the one over in California, and apparently Six Flags in Mexico, because they have their own version of this too, but it's a lot closer to the one at Knott's. But over at Fiesta, Texas, you're not being stalked by like one slasher who goes throughout the different movies. And I'd say it's a lot more diverse in terms of the horror movie stereotypes and stuff that you go through. But I really love this one. Just like at Knott's, you do start off in a lobby and you're ushered in by some spooky ushers into a massive auditorium where they play trailers based off of the movies that you're going to be going through. And what are these 6 movies? Well, Polly, A Prom Queen's Revenge. The Tomb, The Curse of Qatar. The Snow Beast, Unleashed. The Lunatic. Alley of the Dead. Cold Space. I wouldn't blame you if you thought that this was similar to Slaughter Cinema over at Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, which they've had for 2 different years. And yeah, it's a lot more similar in concept to that one. I remember people were claiming that Cinema Slasher at Knott's was a ripoff of that. But if anything, this one is way closer to that. But you know what? The more the merrier. I love both of them. It's a ton of fun. The scares are pretty damn good too. That's what I was saying. The only one that was kind of weak was the Alley of the Undead. It kind of felt like, you know, when you think of like a typical Six Flags Fright Fest. But yeah, all in all, a good time. By the time the credits roll at the end, you're likely going to be ready for a rewatch. Like, that just came to me right then and there. I'm sorry. Heartbreak feels good in a maze like this. And last but not least, we've got Nosferatu. Nosferatu is based on the original film, not the recent one, but come on, Universal, one of these days. So naturally, this one starts you off at the docks of old Europe as you make your way towards the imposing and ominous estate of Count Orlok himself. Some pretty impressive set design going on here. It definitely sets the mood. It's very narrow somehow, but there's one big room at least. Maybe not the most convincing projection effect, but there's some other effects throughout that work really well. And there's a lot of actors in this one. I've noticed a lot of people don't like the fact that Count Orlok himself doesn't really show up too often here. I'm a little torn on that. I do like the actors playing like the townsfolk and people that have succumbed to his influence. Just having his victims throughout the maze definitely sets the mood. Yeah, sure, it would be cool if they had more of him. I really like that they tried this effect with rats running on the floorboards underneath you. I'm sure maybe there's a way they could have made that even more convincing, but I like what they did. I might be in the minority on this one, but I really liked it. I think it's great, and I think they should just find new ways to add to it or improve certain things. My main thing is probably the final room has an attempt at like a one last big like boo moment, but even with my bad eyesight, I could see it coming, and it's probably one of the cheapest animatronics I've seen. I think it would be a perfect alternative to have an actual guy on a bungee like they did do in the Conjuring maze, and Knots utilizes quite a bit. And that's all the mazes. 6 mazes might not seem like a lot, but combine these 6 mazes along with some of those spooky ass rides, Fiesta Texas Fright Fest is quite possibly one of the most solid mainstream haunt events in the US. And this year they definitely earned it. It was so cool and such a treat being able to check this out. And the scare actors did such a damn good job, especially with some of the BS that they gotta put up with. But yeah, it's such an awesome park. Hope you're having a fun and safe Halloween season. It's so sad that we're more than halfway through at this point, but make the most of what you got left. So till next time, have a good night, and don't forget, more fun, more flags. Dude.